Well, good day. I am Dr. Michael Hartley, a non-medical type of doctor. I operate on business, and today we're operating on your business in a way that is fundamentally sound with where you desire to go. So in our last session, we really talked through the purpose of planning and why that's important. And today's focus is, while very similar, it's a bit different, because what we want to talk today about is, what do you surround yourself with? Who do you surround yourself with that actually then pushes you to move towards those goals? So let's take a look. So who do you surround yourself with? Simple question. When we look at who you are surrounding yourself with every single day, are these individuals, are these conversations that you're having, are the things that you're allowing in your eyes, in your ears, that are engaging your senses, are all of these pushing you towards your goals, or are they pulling you and detracting you away from them? You see, when we start looking at emotional triggers, because the people you surround yourself with are going to cause some level of emotional response from you, and sometimes an emotional reaction from you. So emotional triggers start with the subconscious mind and what is hardwired into each one of us. And this often stems from early childhood or things that happened in our adolescence. You know, all of those things truly become hardwired into how we operate, how we think, how we act, how we process data, how we respond to certain things, certain situations. What are those triggers that cause emotion for you, and what's the emotion that they cause? And when you really start to dive deep into who you are, it allows you to kind of unpeel the onion, so to speak, and understand why you operate the way you operate. Why those people that you are surrounding yourself with operate in the way that they operate. You know, there's a story about a family who was cooking, and they always kind of cut off the ends of the specific meat before they would put it into the oven to cook. And child asked the mom, "Why do you cut the ends off before you put it in?" She goes, "Oh, I don't know. Actually, no. Grandma used to do that." And so she's like, "Well, let's go ask grandma." So go ask grandma. "I don't know. Actually, my mom used to do that." So they went and asked great grandma. And she goes, "Well, back when I first started cooking, which is great grandma years ago, we only had a small pan. So I had to cut the ends off so it would fit in the pan and then go into the oven." It was like, "Oh, that's why we do it." There's actually no real reason other than, 3 generations previously, they had a small pan, and so they had to cut the ends off to be able to fit it in. That was the causality. That was the reasoning for making a certain decision. So when you really dive into, why do I make the decisions I make? And I'm basing those off of what others have poured into me. Why did they make those decisions the way that they chose? It allows you a far better insight into how to move forward in the plan that you've created. So the influence that others have on you and the influence you have on others really becomes an art. In fact, there's a book called The Art of Influence that I recommend you go read. I'm not going to dive into that today, but it's the purpose of it is to how to make shifts. Because when you understand who you are, how you operate, then you get to choose, okay, how is it that I can improve how I emote? 80% of every decision, 80% of every decision is made emotionally. And so when you think about the people who you are looking to influence in making decisions, 80% of their decisions made emotionally. So how do you get better at emoting, at getting others to have emote in the correct way? How do you shift when you look at, okay, how do I emote? And you look at some maybe the negative things that are the negative triggers that cause all of that. How do you begin to make progress in shifting how you react in those situations instead of respond? And think of the difference between those two words. When something happens, when a trigger takes place, are you reacting or are you responding? Reactions in the moment, it's highly emotionally driven, and it's in a negative way, it's the lashing out. versus response, which is saying, okay, let me take a breath for a second. Let me think through this. Let me look at the facts versus the emotions being triggered. When I look at the data, the facts of the actual situation, how would I better respond to that? When you start to understand who you are and who you surround yourself with, are these individuals that you're surrounding yourself with, are they pushing you towards responses or pushing you towards reacting quickly? Are they pushing you towards having conversations around the levels of the goals that you desire to have, or are they keeping you stuck with where you're at? You've probably seen this all over the internet. If you haven't, I'll mention it to you today. When you look at the 5 people you surround yourself with most often, are they focused on, I can't wait to get to the weekend so I can just, party and let things go? Or are they talking about, okay, where am I investing next? What's the next business I'm creating? Who are the team members I need to surround myself with to push this business forward? Are they pushing your thought processes, your patterns, your routines? Are they pushing you towards that? Are they pushing you to say, hey, how many times did you, work out this week? How many times did you eat healthy this week? How many times did you learn, or how many hours a week did you dedicate towards learning and personal growth this week? Are they talking about, man, I look forward to sleeping in, right? I can't wait to waste half of my day just to do nothing. If your goals are elevated far beyond the people you surround yourself with, begin surrounding yourself with different people. So not only are we looking at how do we emote better, I also want to ask you this question, which is, what are your pre-wired reactions? When a situation takes place, what are your pre-wired reactions to those triggers? Only you can answer that. And that takes a bit of thought. Going back to how we're pre-wired based on how we're raised and those things that we have growing up. What are your pre-wired reactions? And are they where you desire for them to be? How does your personal growth look like when you are consistently focused on rewiring the lanes in your brain, right? If you've had a certain reaction for 30 years, man, that lane in the brain it's entrenched. It is deep. It is there to stay. And yet we have the opportunity here to start creating new lanes in the brain. We're not going to necessarily be able to completely get rid of those old ones. We may be able to start removing them, but they're never going to necessarily go away completely per se, not for all of us at least. And so when you really start to look at that, it's about creating new lanes in your brain with the responses that you desire to have instead of the reactions that you so naturally have. When you look at where you desire for your business and your life to be 3 months from now, at the end of the next quarter, at the end of the year, who you surround yourself with, the responses and reactions that you have, the conversations, the emoting, all of that will either drive you towards it or pull you away. How many people that you're surrounding yourself with right now are pulling you away from those goals? How many people that you surround yourself with, how many conversations are you having every single week are pulling you away from where you really desire to be? We get into a fight or flight regardless. When we find ourselves in stressful situations, and a lot of this year has been stressful situations, we find ourselves in fight or flight. And the emotional mind really starts to kick in. Fight or flight forces the emotional mind to almost come front and center. And when the emotional mind is front and center, it causes the amygdala to react. And what we want to do is we want to bring everything right here into the prefrontal cortex. Because when we're operating out of the amygdala, there's the word, when we're operating out of the emotional mind, we oftentimes can't think clearly. Literally, out loud, say to yourself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're literally forcing your thought patterns into the prefrontal cortex, and now which is the logical mind, and now you can think a little more clearly. You can remove some of that emotion and you can think more clearly, more logically with the situation at hand. So Who do you desire to begin surrounding yourself with? How do you begin to surround yourself with more people that you desire to be around? If you already have amazing friends that are all pushing you towards it, how do you add to it? If you have people surrounding yourself that are detracting, that are pulling away, how do you begin to shift who you invest time with? I want you to think about this. If you haven't watched this session, go back and watch it on time. Time is the one thing we can't get more of. We can get more money. We can get more friends. We can get more business. We can get more customers or clients. We can get more things in life. We can't get more time. Time must be invested, not spent. Stop spending your time, start investing it. When you look at the people you surround yourself with, how much of that time is being spent and how much is being invested into your future? The only thing in life, one of the very few things in life that we cannot get more of, we are unable as human beings to get more of, is time. And so who you surround yourself with to push you towards the goals and dreams that you have. One of my mentors, I put it beautifully. I love it. He said, when you start sharing the massive dreams you have in life, and again, most people underestimate what can be done in 10 years and overestimate what can be done in one. So when you think 10 years in the future, most people underestimate what can be done 10 years from now. When you really think out there, and you start sharing those dreams with the people you surround yourself with, those that start to become quiet, those that start to go, oh, that's impossible. Why would you dream that big? Why would you think like, oh, you're thinking in that way? Like, whoa, what's going on? When you start hearing what they're saying, it weeds out the morons in your life. Let that sink in for a second. When you share your massive dreams with the people you have around you, how many of them are thinking it's a pipe dream? Oh yeah, that's cool. Best of luck. If you get there, let me know. Versus how many people are going, holy cow, how do I jump into this ride? Because it's going to be a fun one. How do I help support you? How do I keep your mindset where it needs to be? How do I add value to you as you go to accomplish these amazing, massive things? Start to rethink who you surround yourself with. Two things define you as an individual: your patience when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything. John Maxwell. How much patience will you have when you have nothing? And how much of an attitude, or what will your attitude be when you have everything? I am in the process of surrounding myself with blank, you fill in that blank, individuals to push me towards my goals. What do you want to fill that in there with? And it can be multiple things, but it's up to you. My question is, who do you desire to surround yourself with? And then start doing it. I'm Dr. Michael Hartley. I'm here to elevate your business, enhance your lifestyle. And if you are not already sitting down with somebody to guide you through how to create your Q4 plan, then you have to join us. We will have we will have lots of our clients and non-clients joining us for Growth Club. It's our 90-day business planning session. If you don't have a business plan specifically tailored to Q4, then you must join us. The information is right there, dmh.actioncoach.com/events. The investment is really low. We didn't want it to be a roadblock for you joining us. And candidly, if you're unwilling to invest a little bit of time to properly plan out Q4, you're planning for failure. When you look at how dynamic or static the business market is, it's extremely dynamic. Things are changing consistently. And if you don't have the right plan on how to tackle that dynamic marketplace, chances are, A, your competitors probably are. And then B, you're setting your own business up to fail. In business, there's either growing or dying. There's no stagnant. When you're stagnant, everyone else, or at least your competition, your best competition, is growing, which means that you're going backwards. They're taking business away from you. And so sit down with us this Wednesday and start creating your business plan for the fourth quarter. And let's finish this year stronger than it could have ever finished before. Bye for now.
Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Michael Hartley with Action Coach. What needs to pivot in my business, kickstart your day, get you refocused, because business is changing daily right now.